there have been many changes just in the not so distant future, just the past couple of decades, in how makeup artists work with our clients who are on screen. And now our on screen clients are on screen doing their own makeup or not. Our special guest today has a lot of experience with studio lights as an anchor and a television personality. And so she knows what it was like when we went from having to do the makeup with studio lights to high definition when that hit and everybody scattered, then to now we're on YouTube. I'm Jill Russell. Thank you for joining me on a Happy Skin Over 50. And our guest, Sheryl Plouffe. Sheryl, welcome.
Hi, Jill. So great to be with you today. I remember the day that HD came into play when I was in the TV studio. It was a scary day. I think a lot of us did sort of scatter a little bit, and we got a little nervous about the HD, but we knew it was coming and we had to prepare for it.
I think a lot of people retired in their 30s.
Well, you know what? You make a good point about makeup. It has obviously makeup trends have changed so much over the many decades. But I think more importantly, what we have to look at is what does image and makeup do for ourselves as we are, say, building a business or trying to build our brands and put ourselves out there. And I come from the TV broadcasting industry where makeup served a very utilitarian purpose. It was so that we could be seen a certain way, and like the studio lights are very bright, and so you had to wear a lot of makeup, and it was very heavy. You had to wear a lot of it so that you could actually see your eyes. But it was a different era. I think now we're seeing makeup just playing a lot of different roles, brand building roles, as far as business is concerned.
Brand building. Keywords here. If someone wants to find you, I'm going to mention this several times during our show. SherylPlouffe.com. That's how you can be found, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
brand building.
Well, and I will
Give us
also
some
say this,
information on
Jill.
brand building.
Yeah,
Which
exactly. Yeah. At Sheryl Plouffe on any social platform, you can find me and certainly send me a message. The thing that I love about makeup is that it does make you feel more confident. But I think as I get older, my relationship with makeup has changed. I think it used to be that I wouldn't really feel comfortable going outside of my home without some makeup on. But now I'm good. It's like I'll go to the grocery store, I'll run errands without a stitch of makeup on, and I feel absolutely confident and fine with it because I really don't care what other people think. And I think that comes with age. As you get older, you just become maybe perhaps more confident in yourself. And I don't care so much really what other people think. But from a brand building perspective, what I like to see is more congruency between makeup and how you're presenting yourself, through makeup, to making sure that it's actually aligned and congruent with the brand that you're building. And I can give an example of this. An example of this might be the yoga teacher, who is talking about, nature and natural yoga and movement and things of that nature, but then they're made up and their makeup is done to the nines as if they were a makeup artist influencer. So like it's an incongruency. So things like that. I think it's more about making sure that your makeup actually suits what it is that you're doing, your industry, your niche, and that it's congruent to the message that you're actually sharing with others. So if you're going out there and you're talking about feeling confident in your own skin, let's say you're a business coach or a mindset coach, and you're talking about confidence and, be comfortable with who you are and all that, but then you are wearing a mask of makeup because it looks like you're hiding behind it, that doesn't really maybe work as well. So I think it's just trying to figure out a way that you can still be who you are, certainly use makeup, but making sure that it matches the message that you're sharing.
that brings to mind something. I think some of the so-called influencers, even though there are many, but you're an influencer, I'm an influencer. There are a lot of of influencers in the world, but the so-called influencers for, let's say, a younger crowd, I think they're losing steam. They're losing momentum. Uh, they're losing followers and not so much interest anymore in what they are doing and promoting, because it's hiding behind a really thick veil of makeup and using filters on top of that.
Yeah, I think that we're moving away from I guess, the perfection, the photoshopped perfection of the last decade or decade plus of social media. I think we're moving away from that. And we've started to see that trend, I think, over the last few years since COVID too, where we were indoctrinated into this world of like so many more people using Zoom, so many more people doing online, and you actually got to see them in real life practically. You got to see the real them without filters and things like that. People in their home environments. It was just, I think, a different way of seeing people in not a made up, you know, location and sort of thing. So I think that we're moving away from vanity metrics. I think we're going to start moving away from photoshopped, filtered perfection of social media. And we're starting to already see that, where people are really gravitating more toward people who are truly showing up as themselves and being authentic and being natural, makeup or no makeup. Again, whatever suits you, whatever suits your brand, that's totally fine. But I think it's really about a craving for something real. People want to, and we've had reality TV's been around for a long time, but the problem is reality TV is anything but real anymore. It kind of evolved into something that is very fabricated and very controlled. So even our reality TV is not as real as it used to be. So I think there's a real craving for people to see the real thing.
In your business, Sheryl Plouffe, the business, SherylPlouffe.com, and Cash In on Camera is the name of one of your companies. I hesitate to use the word coach because sometimes it seems like that is so overused. You're more of a trainer and you're an educator and a mentor. Actually, everybody meet my mentor, Sheryl Plouffe. Um, what what do you see? Okay, like not fight back, but digging in the heels, hesitancy from some of the people who are wanting to start their own programs on virtual podcasts and do their business virtually and online. Um, what does it take? Because I know you had me up and running in 30 days. I had launched my first show. What
Yeah.
are you seeing, a hesitancy that we need to get over?
Yeah, I think a lot of people put up roadblocks in front of themselves as a veil to shield themselves from the fear that they might be feeling inside. And so we put up these walls of excuses for why not to do the thing that we are maybe internally scared of. So, for example, with profitable podcasting, which is what you're referring to, I think you and there were several other students who said that they've been thinking about doing their own show for 3 years. So there could have been some fear there in a variety of different, whether known or unknown, fear for doing that or moving in that direction, as it pertains to, the look on camera, for example. Like if you are talking about a video podcast or a video of any description where you're going to be visually seen. Yeah, I think a lot of people put up roadblocks in front of themselves and excuses for why they're not ready to do it. Well, I can't possibly do it because I don't know how to do my makeup properly, or I, need to get my roots done because my roots are showing, or I need to lose the weight first, or I need to get my nose fixed, or, like it could be so many different things or reasons that we put up in order to shield us from the fear that's internally kind of brewing inside. Because the truth is, it's not really about the makeup or the roots or the nose or whatever, or the weight. It's about rejection. It's about, will anybody listen? Will I
Yeah.
be heard? It's more emotional fear, right? That's inside that keeps people and holds people back, in my opinion. So yeah, I think there are a lot of roadblocks people put up. It's like, oh, I can't possibly do it because I don't have the right equipment. When in reality, you could go on Amazon today and you just punch it in, it comes to your door tomorrow.
Yes.
So it's not really about the equipment. It's really not about the things that we think it is. It's really about fear that's internal inside of ourselves. So I guess the key thing is to say, um, especially if you're doing this, if you're doing something for business, how many people are you not able to impact because of your fear? How many people are you not serving because you're fearful of what people will think? How many people could be helped by or impacted by your knowledge and your wisdom if only you would step into that role and do the thing that actually scares you? There are people waiting for you to help them. You have to be the one to step into the role and say, I'm going to finally do it because I want to be of service, or I want
Hmm.
to have that impact, or I want to share my knowledge or my insights with others and help them through maybe, again, programs or courses or whatever it is that you do, or through just your free content. So there is a lot of fear there. And you do want to put your best foot forward. Who doesn't? But I don't think it's about perfection. And that's the thing. Like, today as an example, look, I even put a little blouse on, Jill. Like, I even put a little blouse, right? I washed my hair. Okay. But honestly, I really didn't do much more than that. Put a blouse on. I I washed my hair this morning because I hadn't washed it in 2 days. I put a little bit of makeup on, really not even close to the kind of level of makeup that I used to put on when I was on TV. And even if I didn't, have, some makeup here at the cottage, I actually showed up at the cottage a few days ago and I'd forgotten all my makeup at home. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess here I am. And I just looked through the drawer and found a few things. And I was like, I'll just make do with what I got. That's very congruent to my brand, isn't it? My message of not preventing yourself from doing, don't hold yourself back from doing something because you're scared or because you don't have all the things or it's not perfected yet. Just make do with what you had. I went through the drawer in my bathroom. I found a few things. I was like, oh, there's an eyebrow pencil. It might not be the right shade, but did that. Found some makeup in my lipstick in my purse. Thankfully, I had one there. And but I'm doing it anyway. I could have said, oh, Jill, I can't possibly do that interview with you on Thursday because I forgot my makeup at home and I don't have the right shade of lipstick, and the pink, passion pink is the only color that looks good on me, and I don't have the right eyebrow pencil color. And I could have done that, couldn't I? But instead, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to come on and I'm going to share value with you and your audience, regardless of that. And that's congruent to my brand.
And you look lovely. You could go out and get some rose petals and mash around. You brought up another really good point, and that's part of what Happy Skin Over 50 is about. A lot of people, especially after the pandemic or during pandemic, decided to take golden parachutes, retire early, and that sort of thing. And I'm talking worldwide, not just in North America, but have a lot to offer still. A lot of information that can help others. And that's what I found with me. And then before I could reopen my clinic again, and then that's what you help with. You can help those that would like to have a video podcast or would like to share their information, um, because otherwise it's just going to turn to dust and go away. But why not share? And you can help people with their program that have been in business and been in corporations, and um, even high profile people that maybe want to switch around and change careers and have something that is more fulfilling to them, right?
Yes, I think so. I mean, we coined the profitable podcasting method, which you can go to profitablepodcastmethod.com and learn about that, what it is and the philosophy behind it. But yes, I do think that it is definitely a great way for say a corporate professional or a professional of any kind who is thinking about, gee, I'm not sure that I want to continue doing this and I would like to carve out a different future for myself. And so, yeah, I do think that profitable podcasting can definitely be a great way to do that, because it's really, the idea behind it is that you are creating a platform of your own. You're creating a platform of your own that we call profitable podcasting, which is a video and audio repurposed podcast that is interview based, where you bring people on to your show and you have great conversations with guests, and it helps you to get more clients, referrals, and speaking engagements for your own business. And that's really what it's all about. So I do think it's appropriate for people who are looking to transition, who are not maybe kind of attuned to what is going on with marketing and how to do that and where to start. I think that starting a show and starting a podcast is a great place to start, because it's really about having conversations, and you've probably had conversations every day of your professional career. So it's nothing new in that sense. But what we do is we create the framework and the system and allow people to utilize our systems whereby they can make that efficient and produce their podcast in an hour per week.
For myself, I had been trying for at least 3 years, really focusing on it. It was not working. I know all of this stuff. I know marketing. I know video. I know so much. I can run sound. It was not coming together. And in 30 days after I contracted with you, I was up and running. And I know you've got other engagements, and I do want to let our audience know that you offer these complimentary podcasts daily. I'm seeing them popping up daily. With you interview other professionals, and you always have a lot of really good information to share. So I do want to invite people to watch some of those, to join any of your social media and follow Sheryl Plouffe on any of her social media, and then you'll be keyed in to watch any of her shows.
Thank you so much,
Sheryl.
Jill.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks so much. Yes, I hope that anyone who's listening or watching could feel maybe a little bit more confident that you don't have to be perfect. It's not about perfectionism. It's not about filters and Photoshop and all of that. It's really about showing up as yourself and making sure that your visual representation, whether it be your hair and makeup or even your brand visual identity, that's all just congruent to your brand that you're building and the message that you want to share. That's the most important point.
Let's end with, what was the inspiration to get you where you are today?
My family. Yeah, my family. Definitely my family. And honestly, to be here at the cottage and be able to work with my laptop, I think was a big inspiration as well. I didn't want to be the person who was commuting for another 20 years, 2+ hours a day. I wanted to be able to have the freedom of choice around my schedule and location. And I guess being here at the cottage is probably proof of that today.